We said that the area of lexicology specializing in the semantic studies of the word is called semantics. And now let us say a few words about semantics. More than 100 years ago, in 1883, the French philologist Michel Bruel published an article where he argued that alongside of phonetics and morphology, so the study of the formal elements of human speech, there ought also to be a science of meaning, which he proposed to call semantics, by a word derived from the Greek sign. The branch of study advocated in this article was not entirely new, but it was the first time when semantics as a discipline in its own right was established. As with many terms, the term semantics is ambiguous, for it can stand as well for the expressive aspect of language in general, and for the meaning of one particular word in all its varied aspects and nuances. As Maria Pei puts it in the study of language, semantics is language in its broadest, most inclusive aspect. Sounds, words, grammatical forms, syntactical constructions are the tools of language. Semantics is language's avowed purpose. So if we pack whole definition of semantics into a very short format, the definition will sound as follows. Semantics is the study of meanings. And meaning, as we have already mentioned, is certainly the word's main aspect. Hence, words serve the purposes of human communication solely due to their meanings. It is quite clear, if we don't know the meaning of the word, we won't be able to communicate with it. I hope you remember that the major goal of today's lecture was to answer the questions, what lexicology is and what a word is. And now we are going to answer another, from a certain point of view, very simple question. What is meaning of a word? The question posed by us is one of those questions, again, which are easier to ask than answer. You remember what we said about the problem of the definition of the word. We said that none of the definitions attempted by many scholars can be considered totally satisfactory in all aspects. The same is true of meaning. The linguistic science at present is not able to put forward a definition of meaning which is conclusive. However, there are certain facts of which we can be reasonably sure, and one of them is that the very function of the word as a unit of communication is made possible by its possessing a meaning. Therefore, among the word's various characteristics, meaning is certainly the most important. And now let us say a few words about the approaches to the problem of studying the meaning. These approaches are characterized by two different levels of study, syntagmatic and paradigmatic. On the syntagmatic level, the semantic structure of the word is analyzed in its linear relationships with neighboring words in connected speech. In other words, the semantic characteristics of the word are observed, described, and studied on the basis of its typical contexts. On the paradigmatic level, the word is studied in its relationships with other words in the vocabulary system. So a word may be studied in comparison with other words of similar meaning. For example, work, labor, refuse, to reject, to decline, of opposite meaning, busy, idle, to accept, to reject, of different stylistic characteristics. For example, girl and lassie, man and chap and guy. Consequently, the main problems of paradigmatic studies are, for instance, synonymy and antonymy. And now, finally, let us try to sum up what meaning is after all. Generally speaking, meaning can be more or less described as a component of the word through which a concept is communicated, in this way endowing the word with the ability of denoting real objects, qualities, actions, and abstract notions. The complex and somewhat mysterious relationships between referent, concept, and word are traditionally represented by the following triangle. You can have a look at it. By the symbol here is meant the word. Sought or reference is concept. There is no immediate relation between word and referent. It is established only through the concept. On the other hand, there is hypothesis that concepts can only find their realization through words. It seems that thought is dormant, it is asleep, till the word wakens it up. It is only when we hear a spoken word or read a printed word that the corresponding concept springs into mind. The mechanism by which concepts are converted into words, in other words, how mental phenomena are converted into linguistic phenomena, and the reverse process by which a heard or a printed word is converted into a kind of mental picture are not yet understood or described. Probably that is the reason why the process of communication through words, if one gives it some thought, seems nothing short of miracle. And it is really amazing that the mere vibrations of a speaker's vocal cords should be taken up by a listener's brain and converted into vivid pictures. Well, it is truly a miracle, but we're so used to this miracle that we do not realize its almost supernatural qualities. And in fact, we take it for granted. We speak, and that's all that matters. So now, since more or less we have learned certain aspects about the meaning of the word, and we have learned that the semantic structure of the word is the most important structural aspects of a word, which is based on the assumption that the inner form of the word, in other words, its meaning, presents a structure. We can now speak about some other structural aspects of the word. And another structural aspect of the word is its unity. The word possesses both external unity or formal unity and semantic unity. Formal unity of the word is sometimes inaccurately interpreted as indivisibility. The example of post-impressionists has already shown that the word is not, strictly speaking, indivisible. Yet its component morphemes are permanently linked together in opposition to word groups, both free and fixed contexts, whose components possess a certain structural freedom. Now, let us try to explain what we mean by formal unity of a word. The formal unity of a word can be best illustrated by comparing a word and a word group comprising identical constituents. The difference between a word blackbird and word group a black bird is best explained by the relationship with grammatical system of the language. The word blackbird, which is characterized by unity, possesses a single grammatical framing. The first constituent, black, is not subject to any grammatical changes. In the word group, a black bird, each constituent can acquire grammatical forms of its own. For example, the blackest bird I've ever seen. Other words can be inserted between the components, which is impossible so far as the word is concerned, as it would violate its unity. And now let us explain what can be meant by semantic unity. The same example may be used to illustrate what we mean by semantic unity. In the word group, a black bird, each of the meaningful words conveys a separate concept. Bird, a kind of living creature, and black, a color. The word blackbird conveys only one concept, the type of bird. So this is one of the main features of any word. It always conveys one concept, no matter how many component morphemes it may have in its external structure. A further structural feature of the word is its susceptibility to grammatical employment. So in speech, most words can be used in different grammatical forms in which their interrelations are realized. That is what we call susceptibility to grammatical employment. So far, we have only underlined the word's major peculiarities. And all that we have said about the word now can be summed up as follows. The word is a speech unit used for the purposes of human communication, materially representing a group of sounds possessing a meaning, susceptible to grammatical employment, and characterized by formal and semantic unity.